You have been patient with this. More patient, probably, than felt comfortable at times. You have held the awareness of something unspoken between you and another person, some conversation that needed to happen, some truth that needed to be said out loud, and you have waited for the conditions to arrive that would make that possible. Not passively, not indifferently. With the specific, sustained attention of someone who knows something real is there and has been careful not to push it before it was ready. That patience is about to pay off. Not because you waited perfectly, not because you managed your energy around this flawlessly, but because the thing you have been waiting for has been building on its own, in its own time, toward its own moment of readiness. And that moment is close. Take a breath before we go into this. A real one. You have been carrying some anticipation around this situation. Set it down for a few minutes and just be here. The reading will reach you better from a still place than an anxious one. Welcome to Moonlit Arcana. Today, the cards are reading the approach of a conversation, a real one, about real things, the kind you have been sensing was coming and waiting to have. Let's go into what the cards are showing about it. The Fool is the first card in this reading, and I want to be careful about how I frame this card because the Fool is often misread as naivety or beginnings in a generic sense. What the Fool is doing in this position is specific. The Fool is the energy of someone who has reached the edge, the precise point where all the internal preparation, all the thinking and processing and weighing has completed itself, and the only thing that remains is the step. The step off the edge into the actual conversation. The person on the other side of this connection has arrived at that edge. Not recklessly, not without having done the internal work that earned them the right to stand there. They are at the edge because they are ready. And the energy of the Fool in this position is not warning you that something chaotic is coming. It is telling you that something genuine is. The Ace of Swords is here, and it is the card I trust most when a reading is about a conversation that needs to happen. The Ace of Swords is clarity spoken, the honest thing said directly, without softening, without the layers of management that people put around difficult or significant truths. What this card is telling me about the conversation that is approaching is that it will be clear, not unkind, clear. The person bringing this conversation to you has arrived at a place of genuine clarity about what they feel and what they want to say, and they are not going to dress it up in ambiguity or hedge it into something you have to decode. The Ace of Swords cuts through. What comes toward you will be the real thing, in plain language. The Six of Wands is appearing now, and in this reading, it is describing the internal state of the person who is about to come to you. The Six of Wands is quiet triumph, the specific interior feeling of having done something that cost you something and arrived at the other side of it intact. This person has been through something internally to get to the point of being ready for this conversation. There was a process. There was the weighing, the hesitation, the almost and the not quite, and the running of every possible scenario. All of that is behind them now. What they are carrying into this approaching moment is not anxiety. It is a kind of earned confidence. The confidence of someone who knows exactly what they are going to say and has made complete peace with saying it. The Three of Cups is in this reading, and it is bringing something I want to speak to carefully. This card is the card of genuine warmth of connection that exists in the real world between real people with real texture and history. It is not the grand romantic gesture card. It is the card of something that has been real for a while, built through actual shared time, actual moments, the accumulation of small things that add up to something significant. What it is telling me about the conversation that is approaching is that it is not coming out of nowhere. It is coming out of everything that has already been between you. The foundation for this conversation has been being laid, brick by brick, through every interaction you have already had. The conversation is the next natural step in something that has already been growing. The Hierophant reversed is here, and it is telling me something specific about how this conversation is going to feel compared to what this person has done before, compared to previous conversations they have had about love and feeling and what they want. The Hierophant reversed is the energy of stepping outside the conventional script, of saying something in a way that is not the polished, managed, socially acceptable version of the feeling, but the actual version. This person is not going to arrive at this conversation with prepared lines or a careful presentation of themselves designed to produce a specific outcome. They are going to arrive as themselves, the real version. The Hierophant reversed in this position is promising you something rare, a conversation that is not performed. The Nine of Cups is sitting in the center of this reading, and it is the card of emotional satisfaction of something wished for arriving. In this context, it is not describing an outcome that is guaranteed. It is describing the quality of what is building toward you, the fact that what approaches carries the energy of something that has been deeply wanted, carefully tended to, and is now ready to be expressed. The person coming to you with this conversation is not bringing you something casual. They are bringing you something they have genuinely hoped would be possible. The Nine of Cups is the card of a wish made real. What approaches is that? The Two of Wands is here, and it is describing the forward orientation of everything in this reading. The Two of Wands is someone standing at the threshold not yet crossed, but facing it with intention and readiness. This card in this reading is confirming the proximity of what is coming. The threshold has been reached. The planning is done. The distance between where things currently are and where the conversation actually happens has shortened significantly. The Two of Wands does not sit in a reading to describe something distant or theoretical. It sits here to confirm that what you have been sensing, the approach of something, the building pressure of something that needs to be said, is accurate. Your instincts about this have been right. Something is coming. The sun is at the close of this spread, and in every reading where it appears in this position, I trust it completely. The sun does not show up to describe things that are murky or uncertain or carrying hidden damage. It shows up when the underlying energy of something is genuinely illuminated, clear, and real, and oriented toward light. What it is confirming in this reading is the quality of what is about to be spoken. The conversation that is coming is not going to be complicated. It is not going to leave you more uncertain than before. It is going to be clear in a way that you have been waiting for. The sun does not whisper, and it does not hedge. What arrives will be as clear as this card. I want to step away from the cards for a moment and speak to you directly about something. Waiting for a conversation that matters is one of the more under-acknowledged forms of emotional labor. You do not get credit for it. Nobody sees the work of holding something carefully, of not pushing before it is ready, of staying open to a possibility while also continuing to live your life as though the answer does not determine everything. That is what you have been doing, and I want to name it before the focus goes entirely to what is coming, because the patience you have brought to this matters. It is part of why the conversation that approaches is going to be worth having. The things worth saying are almost always the things that take time to arrive at. What is coming toward you has taken that time. Receive it as what it is. That is your reading. The conversation is coming real, clear, and ready. So are you. If this resonated, leave a comment and let me know. Subscribe to Moonlit Arcana for readings that give you the honest version. Take care of yourselves.